So the FTC, Lena Khan, are under questioning, under scrutiny right now based off of a lot of the decisions that they have making and how they function. And yesterday, there was a very interesting sound clip in terms of a question that was asked to Lena Khan and the FTC and them siding with Sony rather than Microsoft when it comes to the Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. Throughout this entire saga of this acquisition, of the merger, of the hearings, it's been Sony obviously that has been the main player pushing back against this deal, and the arguments that Sony have been bringing up have been really not very strong especially when you look at a lot of the responses from Microsoft and just the data overall based off of what Sony is saying that they can't function unless they have Call of Duty. Then you had Microsoft offering 10-year deals and Sony just flat out refusing those 10-year deals and saying they just want to block the merger, even though we can see other companies like Nintendo and other streaming platforms accepting these 10-year deals, understanding that the deals will be great for business for them, so why not go ahead and accept them. And Jim Ryan has been the main proponent here for this deal being blocked, and he is doing everything he can right now to try to block this merger. It's so much so that they've influenced the FTC to go to court and to sue to block the deal. They sued Microsoft to block the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. And Lena Khan was questioned, and there's a great clip here from. She was questioned here. It says, the question was asked by Tennessee Representative Diana Harshberger, who pointed out that it was remarkable the FTC had taken Sony's side. So let's just listen to the clip and hear Lena Khan's response, which is essentially a no response, just kind of skirting around the question.
I say we can all agree that competition law isn't supposed to protect an industry's dominant player.
Correct.
In light of that, I find it curious that the FTC is taking action to protect Sony, which has 68% of the global market for high-end video gaming consoles, from competition attempted to block Microsoft's proposal or their proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. As you know, Sony's been the most vocal opponent of that deal, and remarkably, the FTC has sided with Sony. Can you explain why that seems to be a good idea?
This case also has been voted out and is in administrative proceedings, so I'll let the complaint speak for itself. I will say as a general matter, we always really benefit from hearing market participants across the board, including big players, but at the end of the day, we always make our own independent judgments based on the law and the facts.
Okay.
So there you have it. I mean, no real answer to that question. I mean, it is in court, or it could be going to court August 2nd, unless there is a settlement that is being made and the laws and facts will be presented. And from what we are hearing, I mean, I don't think Sony has a very good case if it does go to court to try to beat Microsoft, but no real answer to that other than saying, hey, we sent this to the administrative court and it's in their hands, and we don't really have a reasoning why you could say we did it based off of the information that we have received. Also, at the same time, I agree it is good to hear all of the different perspectives, but from what we've seen from what Sony has said, again, it's the only big competitor that is complaining about this deal going through. They have a huge incentive to try to block this deal, and the arguments that they have been making have all had remedies to them, which they are seemingly rejecting. So that happened yesterday with the FTC and Lena Khan, and there's a bit more information I want to go over, just some updates here for the Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. There was a report here from Equity Report, another one of those paywall websites where it's just insight and analysis in terms of law, in terms of mergers and acquisitions, stuff like that, that the industry, people within the industry take this information and it helps them with decision making. And it says here, this is from, again, Equity Report, exceptional CMA moves aims to mitigate appeal risk in Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger, says lawyers. Final report is coming on April 26th. And IDAS broke down the article itself, and it says here, final report's coming April 26th or the day before. We know that is the deadline that the CMA does have in order to make their final decision. In fact, there is actually a breakdown here of the different deadlines. The 25th for the financial results they're coming from Microsoft. Then you have April 26th, which is the final report that will be coming from the CMA. So their decision on what they are going to be doing, passing, blocking this deal, remedies, all that type of stuff. On the 27th, financial results are coming from Activision Blizzard. And then on the 28th, it will be a decision from New Zealand. And if we go further past that, there is also the deadline of May 22nd for the European Commission to make their decision. And then even further, August 2nd is the day that Microsoft potentially could be in court with the FTC hearings. So those are the main dates, but we'll go back here and summarizing this article. It says the addendum to the provisional finding, something exceptional and very unusual, was probably done to mitigate the risk of a third party questioning the final decision. The CMA could have just dropped the theory of harm, but without a detailed explanation about the change, that could have opened the door to a complaint about procedural irregularities. So as we know, the CMA, they have reversed their thoughts on the console theory of harm, but they gave a detailed explanation why, new information that had come out, different calculations that came out that they used that initially they had used improper calculations. They used new calculations to show that Microsoft will not be able to partially or fully foreclose PlayStation, whereas previously they said that there was a chance of that. So all the stuff has come out, and they're saying here that basically they had to do all this, go in depth and everything like that, so that there wouldn't be any complaints after decisions had been made. This next thing, it says one lawyer expects the CMA to impose behavioral remedies, which people thought that wasn't going to happen. They thought it was only going to be structural remedies. And the same lawyer believes that an appeal by SONY is unlikely to succeed. So again, another thing in favor of this deal going through, and another thing where it looks like all the analysts are pointing to the fact that the deal will be passed, behavioral remedies will be instilled, not the structural stuff. And everything that everyone has been saying since the beginning, when they first announced this deal, the deal is going to be closing in the first half of 2023, probably by the end of June. But for the CMA, the decision is coming again in a couple of weeks. And next up, we have another interesting piece of news here, which would make you believe that Microsoft is extremely confident that this deal will pass. And it is that they are going to be in the UK doing a presentation for the gaming industry. And they're going to be there on the same date, on April 26th, that the CMA is making their decision. So it says here, Sky News has learned that the technology giant is among the companies due to attend an event organized by UK Interactive Entertainment, the industry body, on April 26th, the same day as Competition and Markets Authority statutory deadline to deliver its phase 2 verdict on the Activision deal. One city source said there was a bemusement at the confluence of the two events, and said that the CMA decision to reject the deal would be damaging to Microsoft's relationship with the government. They added that Microsoft faced embarrassment at being inside Downing Street if the CMA's ruling went against the company. And then last month, the CMA had said it no longer believed there will be substantial lessening of competitions in the game console market. So pretty interesting timing here. Microsoft is extremely confident to show up at this event to do a presentation with the deal being decided on that same day. Because like they say, if it gets rejected, if it gets blocked, it will be pretty embarrassing. But I have a feeling the reason why they're taking this risk is because they have a good feeling that the deal is going to get passed, going to get approved by the CMA. So just some quick updates here for the Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. Let me know your thoughts on all the stuff on Lena Khan, the question that she was asked, the CMA decision that they are going to make. I'd love to hear everything you guys have to say. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.